A few people laughed. A few people cried. Most were silent. I remember when we started this project, everything seemed so extravagantly impossible. The theory that mankind could split an atom, releasing a power that is at the core of the very existence of the universe. This was surely impossible. Yet there was the slightest glimmer of hope.
We sure these are the only two elements that we can use?
Yes. Uranium-235 and plutonium are the only known elements that can have the sustained reaction that we need. You see, when a uranium-235 atom is bombarded with a neutron, the nucleus splits, creating barium and krypton. It also yields 3 neutrons and an immense amount of energy. Now, one of these neutrons collides with another uranium-235 atom, creating a chain reaction. Now, if we have enough U-235, this reaction reaches a critical point where it's able to sustain itself. Now, this amount of uranium-235, this critical mass, is what we need to sustain an explosion.
So do we have any idea how much we're going to need to reach critical mass?
According to our calculations, 63.42 kilograms, or approximately 140 pounds.
140 pounds? Oppie, do you realize what it's going to take to enrich that much uranium? I don't know if we're going to have enough to make a bomb, let alone do a test.
Oppie, to enrich 140 pounds of uranium, we're going to need a cyclotron of unprecedented proportions. I don't even think there's enough copper in the entire world to build the amount of electromagnets we'd need.
Then why don't we use silver?
Where are we going to get that much silver?
Treasury Department. They should have enough. I've got another meeting to get to. Why don't you two start working on what we discussed?
Is he serious about the Treasury Department?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is.
I so diligently worked to this end. I knew what had to happen. We as Americans had to secure our place in this world as a nation. But at what cost? At what cost to human existence? How far were we willing to go to make a weapon of such mass destruction?
It's not to scale.
How's the fire mechanism coming?
Well, what you're looking at is failure 7.
So it's going that well.
Yeah. Well, it's really only the implosion sequence that is the problem. We figured out the uranium trigger. This is the detonation method for the uranium bomb. I wasn't able to build this to scale, but I wanted to look at the old method before starting to work on the new one. They're calling this the shotgun method. A large mass of uranium-235 sits at the nose of the bomb, and back here we have another large piece. As the bomb drops, a pressure sensor will trigger the correct altitude, and a charge will fire the smaller piece up into the large piece, creating a mass of uranium-235 large enough to reach critical and explode.
Looks good. Simple. The best plans always are.
Well, it's not exactly simple, but the concept is sound.
How are we looking in terms of the plutonium?
Well, that's where the problems start. We can't seem to get the implosion to work correctly. Niedermeyer was correct in theory about sending a subcritical mass supercritical by using uniform compression. He just didn't have the right explosives. You see, we're planning to create a soccer ball shape around the plutonium. The new curved charges my men are fabricating will surround the plutonium core. At the moment of detonation, the core will be compressed by a uniform compression wave of such ferocity that the fissionable material will have a decrease in surface to volume ratio and an increase in density, enough for the material to go supercritical and, boom, fission. But we're having trouble getting the implosion wave to be perfectly uniform.
That's a problem, George.
Oppie, We're close. But I know with this project, it's perfect or it's nothing.
You know, if I didn't trust you so much, I'd find someone else to head this up.
Oppie, trust me. I'll bet you a month's pay against $10 I can make this work by the first test date.
I'll take that bet.
That was a bet I now wish I had won. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.